Is the food that you're eating causing your acne? Hey guys, while I do my nails today, I want to dive into something I think we've all wondered, especially if you've ever struggled with acne. Is your diet causing your acne or making it worse? So, while I do my nails, I will talk about a 2020 review paper by Heng Chew. Their paper breaks down acne patterns around the world and the risk factors that might increase the chances of getting acne. I'll drop the link to their paper in the description if you want to read it yourself. And this is not just any paper, it's a systematic review. That means that the researchers analyzed a bunch of studies, 35 to be exact, to try to answer key questions such as what increases the risk of getting acne, what makes your acne worse, and what might actually protect your skin from acne. I'm going to break this paper down in a chill, simple way while I pamper myself. You guys, my nails usually don't even last more than a week. They just pop off. So if you have any tips on how to make them last longer, please share. Let's get into it. Just a disclaimer before I start. The authors looked at other factors other than food. I'm mostly going to focus on food for this video because unlike your genetics, diet is something we do have control over. Okay, starting with milk. Is it linked to acne risk? Yes, and strongly. Does it make your acne worse? Yes, especially with frequent intake. Now, at first, the results across studies were kind of mixed when it comes to milk, but when they pulled all the studies together in a meta-analysis, the link between milk and acne got stronger. It didn't matter what type of milk it was, whether it was full cream or low fat, all of them were associated with a higher risk of acne. However, the good news is other dairy products like cheese, yogurt, and even ice cream, apparently, they didn't show a strong association with acne risk or worsening of acne. But the studies that look at these are few, so they're definitely not green flags. We need more information for them to be. Next up, chocolate. My sweet tooth was nervous for this one. So, is chocolate linked to acne risk? Probably. Is it linked to worsening of your acne? Possibly. So the paper found that people who ate chocolate more often tended to have more acne. And that was across different types of studies. Oh my God. Even dark chocolate wasn't totally off the hook. One study showed that 99% dark chocolate still made acne worse. And they looked at dark chocolate because they thought milk might be a co-founder in the normal chocolate. But, oh child, no, it wasn't. So they sort of suggested that sugar in both dairy or milk product and in chocolate might be the culprit, in which it increases insulin, leading to inflammation. Next up are high-fat foods, so fries and oily food. Are they linked to acne risk? Probably. Do they make acne worse? Possibly. Some studies said yes, others not so much. Evidence isn't super strong, so more research is needed. So maybe just don't overdo the oily takeouts. Now, some good news. What can you eat? Fish apparently is good. Fish, especially your salmons, seem to protect your skin because they're full of omega-3s, which lower a hormone called IGF that is linked to acne. One study said certain seafood might worsen acne, but that was just one study. Most pointed towards fish being helpful. So eat your fish and glow up. For me, fruits and veggies are obviously good, but let's just see what they reported. Are fruits and veggies linked to acne risk? No, they're likely protective. Do they make your acne worse? Not really. They possibly protect you from getting worse acne. And that is because the fiber in fruit and veggies also reduces the IGF-1. Plus, they're full of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory nutrients. There were not enough studies that support spicy foods in terms of acne presence and acne severity. And they said it might depend on your individual skin and gut. So if spicy food breaks you out, trust your body. But science doesn't have a strong answer yet. Is sugar and high glycemic foods like white bread linked to acne risk? Some studies said yes, which means some studies said no. Do these foods make your acne worse? The results were inconclusive. High glycemic foods might spike your blood sugar, which then increases their IGF-1 hormone, which is an insulin hormone, and it also increases inflammation. That could trigger acne, but studies aren't totally in agreement with this. Still, it might be worth swapping the white bread for the whole grain now and then. And I like my bread. Only a few studies looked at whole grains, but they were linked with less severe acne in some cases. It could be the fiber or low glycemic load found in whole grains. To me, whole grains look good, even though it's still early days. I avoid peanut butter like a plague, even though I love peanut butter. This is because I believe peanut butter contributes to my breakouts. In this study, they looked at nuts and potato chips, and some people did break out with nuts or chips, others didn't. So if you notice a pattern in your own skin, it might be worth cutting nuts and chips from your diet. So for fast food and junk food, some studies reported that yes, these foods are connected to acne risk. And this might be a combination of things. Fast food and junk food has fat, sugar, it causes insulin spike. But the authors stated that there isn't much research out there that covers this, which is absurd. There should be more research that looks at fast food and junk food, as we are constantly increasing the consumption of this in our society. But I digress. So there is more research needed that looks specifically at fast food and junk food. And maybe it might be difficult to look at this because of the co-founders that comes with it, the sugars, the fats, and the insulin spike. Maybe that's why. I've heard so many good things about the Mediterranean diet. And in this paper, it was reported that yes, it possibly does reduce the risk of acne presence. This diet is rich in whole grains, olive oil, fish, and veggies, which we've already reviewed above, and they're all good and they're all anti-inflammatory. Maybe that's why this diet is good for your skin as well. A few studies even showed that it was linked to lower acne risk and less severe breakouts. However, the authors do state that more research is needed, but it looks promising to me. So other factors that are not food that might put you at risk of acne were found to be family history. If your parents have acne, you're almost 3 times more likely to get it too. Your body weight, people who are overweight or obese have 2.36 times the risk compared to those who have lower BMIs. And gender. For gender, it always surprises me that males were found to have a slightly higher risk than females, but the difference was small, like 1.0 times. But still, it's shocking because I always thought females were the ones who had a higher risk. Honestly, acne is complex. It involves genes, hormones, lifestyle, and yes, maybe even your breakfast, lunch, dinner. They all can play a role. So, while this paper was juicy and filled with a lot of valuable information, it had a few weak spots. Like my not so strong nails, they will probably start falling off next week. First of all, most of the studies they looked at were cross-sectional, which is a fancy way of saying they were more like snapshots, not like the whole movie. Even though they wanted to look globally, they didn't include data from every region because other regions do not have such studies. For example, I didn't see any studies from South Africa, which is sad because that's where I come from. But there was studies from Ghana and Egypt, at least representing Africa. But I love that the authors kept it real and admitted that we need more solid, diverse, and long-term studies, especially around food and acne. Before I go, a quick reminder. This video is for education and not diagnosis. Always talk to a dermatologist or a dietitian if you're dealing with skin stuff and want personal support. And also, please remember, this is my interpretation of the 2020 Heng Chew paper. I've done my best to break it down clearly, but I might have missed some of the author's original nuances and intention. So I advise that you try and read the full paper yourself if this topic matters to you, and to also do more research. You guys, thank you so much for listening. Take care of your gut, your skin, and your overall health. I will see you in the next one. Ciao.